next to Andrew Lee. And Andrew Lee is going to be the last witness for this panel before I do a round of questions. And Councilmember Pinto. Welcome, Andrew Lee. You can begin your testimony. Thank you for being here.
Okay. Good afternoon, Chairman McDuffie and members of the committee and staff. Thank you for the opportunity to testify today. I'm Andrew Lee and serve as the Artistic Executive Director of DC Strings Workshop. It's a nonprofit focused on east of the river communities, bringing music to all parts of our city, particularly areas in our city that don't have access to it. Even throughout the pandemic, we've been proud to present more than 10 concerts of our orchestra and lead workshops in numerous community centers, DPR centers, parks, and just in the community. I don't have to tell you about the challenges of the pandemic, how it's been a real challenge for families and particularly nonprofit organizations. We know about the painful rise of gun violence, as your previous panelists just spoke about, and the pain that it's inflicting on our communities. And often we're not spending as much time focused on the children and youth that have been impacted and the pronounced learning gaps and trauma that they're experiencing and anxiety as a result of isolation and everything that's happening in regards to the pandemic. But I'm mainly here to talk about the Events DC Community Grant, which has really been a lifeline for us and allowed us to continue to keep music alive in the district. We were delivering instruments to students' homes. We had a waiting list of over 50 students that still wanted to be in the program, where we are able to provide piano, violin, strings, percussion, and other instruments to students in a virtual and small in-person classroom offerings. So we know the impact that music has on children and their lives in terms of creating opportunities for them to see themselves, the healing power of music through music therapy, and we were able to offer counseling and other services to students that were most in need. So as you continue to talk about this community program, we just call on you to continue to renew it and to expand it, include more supports for organizations that are using music and therapy and the creative arts as a resource for our students. And oftentimes these programs that their funding are not in schools. They're just not, whether it's orchestra, band, painting, you name it. So we definitely calling you to continue to support programs like that. And I would just close by saying I was really pleased to hear that Destination DC is still continuing to use so many local artists, whether it's go-go artists, whether it's classical musicians, you name it, and a lot of their marketing materials and collateral, just calling them to partner with us and others to continue to do that. You know about the challenges of how hard it is for musicians and artists and educators to continue to live in the district. So with that, I'll conclude my testimony, but appreciate your support and the work that you're doing. Thank you.
And thank you for your testimony. I want to turn back.
Mr. Lee, are you still here?
I'm still here.
Great.
Sorry about that.
Well, thank you. No problem. Thank you so much for your work with DC Strings. I think it is a perfect illustration of what we talk about when we talk about supporting our youth, building wraparound communities that don't just end at the lines of the home or the school, and that we really have to be part of the solution in providing more opportunities for our young people, especially in areas around the arts and music, which is so exciting. And so just want to see in this last minute if you have other recommendations for expansion of the program, how it's been running in the last year, and any ideas for improvements that you'd like to see.
I would say it's a real challenge. I mean, a lot of similarly situated nonprofits, are very dependent on government grants and local donors and foundations, and everyone's kind of scrapped right now. So it's been challenging. We have waiting lists, of hundreds of kids that want to be in the program, and we just don't have the capacity or resources right now to accommodate. So I would say investments there would be really helpful. Some of the larger institutions have been really helpful, like Washington Performing Arts and others, to build capacity, technical assistant, sharing teachers, and best practices and things like that. So I think looking to expand would be great. We've partnered with DPR and DCPS and other agencies, but it's a real challenge just based on the need and how many people want to be involved in the program.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you to this entire panel. Thank you, Chairman McDuffie.
Thank you, Councilmember Pinto.